Hi there, I'm Linda and this is Huttons Valley Permaculture. It's spring here and with that comes lots of growth. I've been moving through my swales, checking out all my fruit and nut trees to see what sort of support they need. Today it's time to look at my pear trees. A few days ago I was out here and gave some attention to my hazelnut trees and got plenty of mulch around them and also this olive tree, but I needed to clear the other olive tree as well. So I've just done that this morning. This beautiful acacia was just hanging too far over it, but I do have to be careful because it is being shaped by being tied to one of the branches. So I had to cut my way around that. But this tree will be a lot happier now that that canopy is down and instead around the ground. So with that small job done around my olive trees, it's time to move through here and check out what we can do for my pear trees. As you can see, there's a similar situation going on here as was with my hazelnuts. The support trees, fast-growing pioneers, have really taken off and sort of are dwarfing these pear trees. Now they're deciduous trees, so during spring and summer is the time that they're going to be doing all their growth, and they need a bit of sunshine to make sure that happens. So today we're going to have a look at these other trees and see what we need to do. This pear tree here, which is a little hard to make out in amongst all this growth, is being swamped by a Tagersasti on one side, this elderberry on the other, and even the casuarina is starting to creep in on it too. While it does have a little bit of growth up the top, I think it could do a lot better if it just got a little bit more space and sunshine. And as for this second pear tree, it's got plenty of space on one side, and that is where the sun is most of the afternoon. So it's missing out on some morning sun. So we can open the light up to it just by trimming these two trees, this one here and the other one. These trees are getting quite large and they're just about ready to be taken right down and replaced with smaller pioneer trees. But because one of their function is to help shade areas in hot summers, including my pasture which is just nearby, I'm going to leave the bulk of the trees for the moment and consider taking those down in autumn. I'll just make a start with this tree first by cutting some of this vegetation here. We'll get down some of this casuarina. Now this casuarina is going to get fairly large on this side, so I will have to keep managing it and just keep assessing whether I want it here. My thought was to grow perhaps a passion fruit up it that I don't want in my kitchen garden. I actually removed it from my kitchen garden following advice from viewers because the roots can create suckers and be a real problem, but I don't think it'd be as much of an issue up in my food forest. Now casuarinas also fix phosphorus in the soil, so they're very beneficial for that reason as well. And now I'll get the elderberry. All right. Well, that's probably, well, we want some of the west sun, so I might take this one down as well. Even though it's got all the beautiful flowers on it, I've got plenty of elderberry around the property. And we might just remove okay, I think that's open up some more light from the west. Now, while most of these cuttings is going to go as mulch around the pear trees, with the elderberry, you can actually propagate and create new plants from a lot of this material. So you could just chop this off, put it into some water, or you can even put it straight in the ground and you'll find you're getting new plants. Well, you could cut this and propagate it. It's much easier to actually cut the green growth, the younger growth, like just down there, and pop that in water, and that will create roots a lot quicker than with the woodier stems. So off this elderberry cutting, we should be able to get quite a few new plants that I can spread around, give to friends, or even sell. The bees, of course, love these delicate, fragrant flowers, and you can also use these for making cordials or wines. And the berries can also be used for flavourings and medicinals. I'm just checking out these thicker branches. They might actually be good for posts in the garden. And now, to deal with the other side, we'll have to cut some of this Tagasasti. Perfect. I was afraid that that was going to crash onto my pear tree, but it fell beautifully. With a little bit of practice, you can actually angle your cuts so the branch will fall where you want it. Once again, it missed this little pear tree that's suddenly looking a lot happier. Now, something that I also do while I'm out on my swales is watch out for noxious plants like this blackberry and just chop them off while I'm here. So all I do is just chop these plants off at the ground, and each year I'll just go around and do the same. It just slows that growth right down, and I find that the blackberry pressure in the areas where I've done that is really reducing. Well, that looks like plenty of mulch underneath the pear tree. That's all the Tagasasti done. Now, while our pear tree is looking a lot happier, I think we could make it even more happy by throwing a whole heap of wood ash over it. Right here on this leaf is what they call a cherry slug. Now, they're horrible looking things, and once they get going and feeding on the leaves, they can really decimate the trees. Over the years, this tree has really been set back by those little slugs just taking over it. Now, I do have a video on my attempts to eradicate this problem, doing all sorts of things in winter to try and prevent the larvae getting up here on the leaves, and I think it did knock the numbers down because the trees have really gone better ever since, but the slugs are still a bit of a problem. Now, the solution to that is to throw wood ash all over the tree so that it comes in contact with these little slugs, and the ash actually dries out the slug and kills it. Now, it's not enough wood ash to get down into the soil and affect the soil, so there's no concerns about that. But I will have to keep treating this tree a number of times during the growing season. So I've just dug some ash out of the fireplace, and I'll try not to get it all over me, but just over the tree. It helps with a bit of breeze to blow it through. Okay, that should do it. The ash seems to coat most of the leaves, and if we've missed some of the leaves, we'll catch up with them probably on the next visit to the pear tree. But you can see there, these things are sticky little things, and the ash just sticks to them and really decimates them fairly quickly. Which is fairly lucky, because if you get a windy day and all your ash just blows off straight away, at least the job's been done. Now, while I generally don't like to kill things, I feel that it's necessary with these pear trees because I have seen them totally decimated in the first couple of years. So I'm really giving the tree a chance to kind of get established and grow nice and tall. Once it's huge, well, I can't really do much about it, but I'm hoping the tree will be strong enough to kind of resist them and just do its own thing regardless. And we're going to do much the same for this tree here. I'm just going to take out some of the branches from these two trees. Now, east is over there and south is over there, so there's not a lot of sun coming from those two directions, but by taking out the branches on this side of each of those plants, it'll open it up to the north and the west a little bit more. And I think that's all we'll need to do to keep this plant happy. And then, as I've said, I'll take those trees probably down in autumn and replace them with some smaller, fast-growing trees. Now, having done very well with cutting branches not to hit the tree with the other tree, I'm not too sure how I'll go with this one, but we've got to give it a go and see what we can do. I might just do it bit by bit. By not cutting it right the way through, it kind of hangs on and you get an idea of where it's falling. And you can help it on its way a little bit better. Right. There we go. That tree's a lot more open now. All we need to do is get this around the base of the tree to get it nicely mulched. That's all that mulch down. Now for a bit of a wood ash dusting. Oh, sorry camera. Whew, I think that's enough. Looks like it's snowed. But we've got most of the leaves covered, and that little slug they just fall off. This method works really quickly and it's so much easier than going around and just squashing all the slugs, which I did the first year. Well, if you've gotten this far in another chop and drop video, well, I thank you. It is a bit of a priority at this time of year just to keep the area around these productive trees cleared. I could be doing other things like clearing all the weeds, which are growing rampantly at this time of year, but I know if I focus on this, it also helps build the soil, and slowly weeds will be eradicated as the soil improves. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Thanks so much for watching, and bye for now.